And then the results were sent to a neurologist at the Cleveland Clinic. Met with him, and he said, "I'm sorry, you have ALS." In 1982, I was still in school. I had gone back as an adult college student. My wife, Karen, had offered to go back to work full-time. So for 2.5 years, I went to first Tri-C and then Cleveland State, where I got my degree. It was during that time, in March of 1982, we were short on money and had to live very frugally. We had one decent car and one beater that I used for commuting. The decent car was what she drove. Naturally, I wanted to have reliable transportation. And in that car, she started listening to WCRF radio. And me, I'm listening to WMMS. Everybody knows that one, the buzzard. So we go back and forth. When I got the chance to drive it and switch it back to MMS, I started listening to this WCRF stuff. And she, prior to that, had given me a New Testament Bible. And I carried it with me on the rapid transit, and I was reading it for the first time. It's a great history story. I loved all the cool stuff in it, especially the book of Acts. So, the more I listened to WCRF, the more God was using it to convict me. And in March of 82, I put my trust in Christ after listening to Haven of Rest broadcast, and God had my heart. And that's where things really changed, and I started growing. That same year, Karen had come to know the Lord, as well as Andy. I started taking notes of the pastor's message. Did that for 3 weeks. And after coming out with a blank sheet of paper every week, I said, "We're done." And we started attending Grace. I've been an avid bicyclist, and I noticed that in the off season, when I was at the gym and kind of trying to stay in shape, that machines I was working on, normally over the winter, I would build up. And I noticed in 2015, over that winter, that I was actually going down in the amount of weight I could push. I was having issues with my right arm, that I wasn't able to grip as well, and thinking, well, it could be discs that had slipped, and went to a orthopedic doctor that I had been to a couple times before, thinking, well, he'll just give me an injection, clear that up, I'll be okay. So he starts working me up, and thinking it's going to be surgery on my neck to alleviate the problem. My sister-in-law steps in. She's a surgical nurse, and she says, "You really ought to be talking to a neurosurgeon." And so we, stunned by that, we had to make preparations. In the quietness of the basement, I asked God, "Are you in this?" Can't say I heard a voice audibly, but in my spirit, I heard God say, I'm here. I'm with you. So that was enough encouragement to say, okay, then here we go. Ed, who leads that men's group to pray for Karen and me, comes here every other Friday. We have lunch together. And then Ed, who loves books, reads to me. And we've been reading through different books, one about heaven. I have another friend from Hope Church. He comes 2 or 3 times a month. After work, he comes over and this frees up Karen to do something for several hours. God demonstrated his love for us in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. It was action. It was more than words. It was getting up out of your seat and doing something. Loving God. Nobody's going to match the matchless love of God. Yet we're made in the image and likeness of God. How about that? So we were made in his image. You would think that we would look more like followers of God to the questioning world. They are watching. I guarantee, I can tell you the neighbors that are watching how I live my life. And that's true for other believers as well. I think it's encouraging to see how someone who's stricken with a disease responds. They blow up in anger. They run away from God because things aren't going the way they planned or thought they should go. And people who will come and say, I don't know how you do it. They're right. You don't know how you would do it because you don't have ALS grace. I have it because I need it. And God has given me that grace to deal with this. He'll give you the grace when you need it and not before. So, chill.